A century of change. Deserts change over time in subtle, dramatic, and unexpected ways. Change can be rapid, as seen in the aftermath of a flash flood, or slow, as when decades of groundwater decline alters plant communities. Tracking long-term environmental change is difficult, especially if they exceed the length of a scientist's career. One method, called repeat photography, was refined and perfected since the 1960s by Desert Lab researchers Raymond Turner and Rodney Hastings and their colleagues. At the turn of the 20th century, photography came into widespread use. Explorers, tourists, and picnicking families were photographing landscapes everywhere, including in the desert Southwest. Ray Turner understood the value in these early photographs, so he and colleagues collected vintage images, rephotographing the scenes from exactly the same spot to create a record of long-term changes in regional landscapes. The process of matching an image is a challenging game. First, one needs to find the exact location where the original photographer stood, which is not as simple as it sounds, especially without any permanent background and foreground elements. Then come the refinements, capturing the light at the same time of day and even the same time of year. Third, the camera lens should be the same type as in the original camera, and the photo should be taken from the same height and angle. The result is an objective visual representation of change over time. Individually, the images tell the story of one location. Collectively, at a regional level, they tell the story of a whole landscape. These images of the Santa Cruz River were taken from a mountain just southeast of Tumamoc Hill. In the early 1900s, the Santa Cruz was a braided, flowing river supporting white trunk sycamores and darker mesquites. By the 1940s, groundwater pumping had eliminated all surface flow, killing the sycamores and diminishing the mesquites. Continued groundwater pumping into the 1980s caused groundwater levels to decline beyond the reach of river plants, and the river ecosystem became a dry arroyo. A similar set of images from the Santa Cruz was taken from Martinez Hill, the large volcanic hill just to the east side of I-19 as you leave Tucson going to Nogales. They show how unobstructed flash floods added to degradation caused by groundwater pumping. In 1913, the river supported a dense mesquite bosque. These trees slowed the river flow, encouraged recharge, and supported floodplain-dependent animals and other plants. By the 1950s, most of the mesquite bosque had died, unable to reach the water. Without trees to stabilize its banks, flash floods carved a wide, shallow channel from which water now drains rapidly away. Images from Tumamoc Hill itself also tell the dramatic story of the growth of Tucson. Fields used to line the banks of the Santa Cruz, and rolling desert led from there to the Santa Catalina Mountains. Today's view is of an urban western city. In the case of repeat photography, a photo may be worth much more than 1,000 words.